Hello and welcome to Food Neighbourhoods on Monocle Radio, where once again we visit the places locals love for their food and drink. This week we're northbound to the Arctic city of Tromsø in Norway. Here, Monocle's Oslo correspondent Lars Bevanger takes us on a culinary journey, which, despite its snowy and far-flung location, offers up a selection of international eateries as well as traditional fare. Take a listen.
Tromsø is far north. Think 300 kilometers north of the Arctic Circle. In fact, it's the world's northernmost city with a population of more than 50,000 people. Yet, despite its location, Tromsø is surprisingly international, with direct flights from many European cities. People from more than 100 countries have made this Arctic city their home, and this too is reflected in some of the culinary choices to be had here. More about that in a minute. I love starting my day down by the harbour, taking in the views of the Arctic Cathedral that sits across the fjord from the city centre, framed by the majestic Tromsdalstinden mountain, or Salastjokka in the indigenous Sami language. From here, I take a short stroll away from the water and into the city until I come to a mustard yellow and green wooden house on the corner with Storgata, the main shopping street. This is where I'll pick up my morning coffee, at the small and very friendly cafe Tøllefsenhjørnet, or the Tøllefsen Corner. It's named after the tiny grocery store that was here for nearly a century.
My name is Ida Kristine Stefansen and I'm the owner of Tøllefsenhjørnet. Well, first and foremost, it's coffee and wine, and everything else is a bonus. I'm the one with the coffee expertise, and my co-owner here, Anders, he's the wine expert. So together we are trying to serve the best there is of wine and coffee. Actually, my great-grandfather started a shop here, like a convenience store, in 1924. It's been in my family, so I took over the lease now in 2022. I'm very thrilled that I could do that.
Ida Christina and Anders Cafe is typical of quite a few places along this main thoroughfare. These old wooden houses have outlived generations and still carry the names of the shops they used to be. Another such example is the V2 Tobacconist, a bit further down the street. It opened as a tobacco shop in 1921 and was relaunched as a bar earlier this year, with an interior close to its original 1920s style. They still sell cigars, but the main draw early on a cold winter's day is their affordable soup or Norwegian waffles. Suitably warmed up again, I head to another classic, the Raketten Bar og Pølse. This tiny octagonal kiosk from 1911 resembles Parisian news kiosks from the same era and is now a listed building. It is also possibly the only kiosk in Norway with a license to sell alcohol. So pick up a reindeer hot dog and a beer and you're good to go. And having mentioned Santa's favourite animal, I have to talk a bit more about reindeer. Hundreds of thousands of them roam the vast expanse of the Arctic areas of Norway, Sweden and Finland. Semi-domesticated, they're herded by the indigenous Sami population, the only people who are allowed to own reindeer. Reindeer eat lichen, mushrooms and even seaweed. The result is a full-flavoured, lean and incredibly tender meat which you can enjoy in any way you want, as a sausage from the Raketten kiosk, a burger, cured as an amuse-bouche, or as a fillet served at the highest quality restaurants. But I digress. Time to head a little bit south along the main pedestrian road and pay a visit to the Helmersen Deli and Wine Bar. Remember how I mentioned people from more than 100 countries called Tromsø their home? Well, here you meet one of them.
My name is Marco Bait. I come from Sardinia in Italy, and I've been here in Tromsø almost 26 years. Helmersen, it was an idea and a dream of the guy who started this process and this concept, Sindre. He's been in Italy, in Bologna. That is one of the most famous food city in Italy. He came back to Tromsø and his dream, his plan was to open a small deli. A few months after he opened the shop, I joined the project. And now it's not only a delicatessen shop, but it's also a wine bar and bistro. If you come to eat lunch here, we have a very good croque madame, but we have also a chicken salad. I mean, chicken salad sounds very common, but this the one we make here is very good. I mean, it's the favorite lunch here in town.
For people who haven't been to Tromsø, I think many will be surprised over the selection of eateries and bars. It is quite extraordinary. Why, high up in the Arctic, do you have all this choice?
Tromsø has been always a popular city, and the people in Tromsø has been always very interested in go out and eat and drink and have a social life outside the four walls. In the winter months, when it's 24 hours of darkness, they don't want to stay all the time home. And the city is very cozy because, the candlelights, the low lights, and the atmosphere. You get like this vibes that you want to go out in a warmer place, meet the people you know, meet other peoples, and enjoy and stay in company with others. And of course, in the summertime, when you have the 24 hours of sun, you don't want to stay home at all.
By now, I'm starting to think about dinner. Because Tromsø is one of Norway's largest fishing ports, I know I can expect to find some of Northern Europe's finest seafood here. I could head to Skiddy, a restaurant on the seafront where a window seat will give you a view of fishing boats, the mountains across the fjord, and perhaps some northern lights. Their boknafisk is legendary. It's a version of dried cod which has been soaked to regain its bulk and then simmered until flaky. Served with carrot mash, mushy peas, bacon and potatoes, it's a Tromsø classic that will warm your cockles. By the way, dried cod is known as stockfish in this region, and it has protected geographical indication status, like champagne or prosciutto di Parma. It's said that there are only two things in Europe that have a longer history than stockfish when it comes to food and drink, and it's wine and olive oil. But before I decide on dinner, I pay a visit to Tromsø's newest neighbourhood. Walk a bit north from the city centre and you'll end up at Verve, built on and around the old shipyards. The main shipbuilding hall now houses upmarket restaurant Maskinverkstedet, literally the machine workshop. Inside, much of the old, massive steel structures and machinery have been kept, in contrast to the fine cuisine served here.
My name is Yvonne Steffensen. I'm the daily manager and one of the owners of this place. The whole area was an old shipyard. This building is built in 1911. We opened a restaurant in 2020. The last machines that were fixed here was in 2017. And then our previous owner took over and renovated this place and the whole area around.
So what is the focus of your cuisine?
We're trying to stay as local as possible with us. Most fish that we can get off, seafood, and also like local reindeer, lamb, beef caught in the area.
So when you say local, how local is that?
No, like the fish is just caught straight out from the sea. It takes us like 30 minutes from the harbor to the fishmonger and to us. And beef or reindeer is like 2 hours away from the farms.
Having been inspired to try the best of local ingredients, I head back from the new Verve neighbourhood into the old city centre and Mathallen restaurant. This high-end eatery is pretty much always fully booked, so do plan your visit in advance. Choose between their 5 or 4 course menus or the catch of the day, invariably super fresh fish from the North Atlantic Ocean. While you wait, you can watch Mathallen's skilled chefs prepare your meals in the open kitchen. This is a place where you will want to spend a good few hours. Here in the Arctic North, the evening usually does not end after dinner. In the darkest winter, it's hard to keep track of time. And of course in summer, when the sun never sets, it's even harder. So I saunter down to what is perhaps the most iconic place in the whole of Tromsø. It's the city's oldest pub, which has been going since 1928. Ølhallen, the beer hall, sits in the cellars of the Mack brewery. You'd be forgiven for thinking you're in a Central European beer cellar if it wasn't for the stuffed polar bear in the corner. Choose from 72 beers on tap, yes, 72, including all of Mack Brewery's products, plus a huge selection of quality beer from small Norwegian producers elsewhere. Hang out with the locals, hear tall stories, and saunter into the Arctic night once the pub finally closes its doors at 1:30 in the morning. For Monocle in Tromsø, I'm Lars Bevanger.
Food Neighbourhoods is a Monocle production from the team behind the menu. This episode was written and edited by Lars Bevanger. For more food and drink stories, tune into the menu every Friday at 2000 London time. I'm Monica Lillis, thanks for listening.